Imagine one single choice reshaping the fate of an entire kingdom. In the official version of events from House of the Dragon, Princess Rhaenyra Targaryen is wed to Laenor Velaryon, uniting two Valyrian bloodlines and pushing the realm toward a brutal civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons. But what if things went differently? What if King Viserys allowed Rhaenyra to follow her heart and marry Ser Harwin Breakbones strong? Could this love match prevent the realm from tearing itself apart, or would a different tragedy unfold? In this alternate history, we'll see how Harwin's bond with Rhaenyra changes alliances, shakes up the royal court, and sets the stage for a dance that might burn just as fiercely. Number 1. The Point of Divergence. Our story begins around 113 AC, when scandal engulfs the Red Keep. Rhaenyra is rumored to have snuck off in the dead of night with her rogue uncle, Prince Daemon. In the standard timeline, King Viserys tries to quiet the gossip and preserve Rhaenyra's status by promising her to Laenor Velaryon, sealing an alliance with House Velaryon and its mighty fleet. Here, Viserys takes a different path. He knows Rhaenyra is unhappy with being forcibly wed for political reasons. He's also aware she shares a warm friendship, some say deeper feelings, with Ser Harwin Strong, the eldest son of Lionel Strong, the King's Hand. Harwin is no minor knight. He's heir to the vast and supposedly cursed castle of Harrenhal and is famed for his physical prowess. So, in a tense meeting of the small council, with Queen Alicent observing in shock, Viserys proclaims that Princess Rhaenyra will marry Harwin Strong rather than Laenor Velaryon. Lord Corlys Velaryon, offended and furious, storms off to Driftmark, feeling that his house has been snubbed. Alicent warns that alienating the Velaryons is a dire move for the realm, but the king insists he's looking after his daughter's happiness. Most at court are stunned. Even Lionel Strong had recommended the Velaryon match out of pure logic. But Viserys overrules everyone, hoping a genuine bond between Rhaenyra and Harwin can steady the royal succession and keep his beloved daughter content. Number 2. The Wedding of Rhaenyra and Harwin. A few moons later, King's Landing hosts a smaller, less extravagant wedding than what was planned with the Velaryons. Rhaenyra arrives in black and red finery, while Harwin wears the colors of House Strong. There's obvious warmth between them, smiles that aren't just for show, yet the atmosphere is uneasy. Lord Corlys is absent, and tensions swirl among those who worry that spurning House Velaryon's fleet is a risky move. During the wedding feast, we see Queen Alicent standing off to the side in her trademark green. Sir Criston Cole, once close to Rhaenyra, stands with a stormy look in his eyes. Some say Criston once proposed that Rhaenyra forsake her claim and run away with him, but she refused. Now, watching her wed someone else, he can't hide his bitterness. In a fit of anger, Criston challenges Harwin to a friendly spar in the middle of the hall. Swords clash in front of horrified onlookers. Criston's skill is legendary, but Harwin's nickname, Breakbones, isn't for nothing. He's a force of nature. The brawl ends when Harwin knocks Criston's blade aside, nearly caving in the Kingsguard's helmet before King Viserys roars for them to stop. Criston walks away humiliated, edging closer to Queen Alicent's circle, what people will soon call the Green Faction. Meanwhile, Rhaenyra and Harwin end the night in each other's arms, uniting House Targaryen and House Strong in a way nobody expected. King Viserys, watching from the throne, hopes he's done the right thing. But the rift with House Velaryon grows. Number 3. Early married life and shifting alliances. In the months after the wedding, there's a surprising calm around Rhaenyra. She's openly fond of Harwin, and that genuine affection is something rare in royal marriages. When she becomes pregnant, the court waits anxiously to see if the child will have Velaryon-like silver hair. But in this alternate timeline, no one expects that anymore. Sure enough, in 115 AC, Rhaenyra bears a son named Jacaerys. Dark-haired and strong-lunged, the baby is obviously Harwin's, and King Viserys holds the boy proudly, placing a dragon egg in his cradle. Rhaenyra soon has 2 more sons, Lucerys and Joffrey. Unlike the original timeline, there's no widespread gossip that these children are bastards. Everyone knows Harwin is the father. Still, not everyone is pleased. Queen Alicent and her supporters mutter that House Velaryon's might was abandoned in favor of a lesser seat, Harrenhal. They also note that Lord Corlys and his grand fleet are no longer in the crown's pocket, yet Harwin earns respect at court. He's a famed knight, known for both his brawn and good humor, and the king's hand, Lionel Strong, has proven himself wise and loyal. If anything, House Strong is on the rise, but trouble brews. King Viserys has other children by Alicent, Aegon, Aemond, and Rhaenyra, who carry the Targaryen name and the old Valyrian looks. Although Rhaenyra is officially heir, Alicent's faction suggests the realm might prefer a king instead of a queen. This male preference mindset remains powerful. The seeds of a future showdown lie just beneath the surface. Number 4. Driftmark funeral and fight among princes. By 120 AC, tragedy hits House Velaryon when Daemon Targaryen's wife, Laenor Velaryon, dies in childbirth. The funeral takes place at Driftmark, bringing together Targaryens, Velaryons, and many lords. Rhaenyra arrives with Harwin and their 3 sons. Alicent comes with her children, who are older now. Prince Aegon is a reckless young man, Prince Aemond is bitter and cunning, and Princess Rhaenyra is more gentle. But it's Aemond's audacious act that changes everything. Under cover of night, he slips away and claims Laenor's mighty dragon, Vhagar. This outrages Laenor's daughters and Rhaenyra's sons, who feel Aemond stole their dragon. A brawl erupts, and Lucerys Strong, Rhaenyra's second boy, slashes Aemond's face, costing him an eye. Horrified cries echo through the hall. Alicent demands Lucerys' own eye in return, an eye for an eye. King Viserys refuses. In the canonical timeline, Aemond calls Rhaenyra's sons strong bastards, fueling rumors. Here, he might insult them differently, taunting their lineage or calling them unworthy Riverlanders instead of true Targaryens. Either way, the wound is symbolic. The Greens blame Rhaenyra's brood for maiming Aemond. The Blacks remain defensive, furious at Aemond's arrogance in claiming Vhagar. Only days later, another tragedy strikes. A fire at Harrenhal kills both Lionel Strong and Harwin. Whether it's an accident or arranged by Harwin's scheming younger brother Larys is never proven. Some even suspect Alicent had a hand in it. The result is devastating. Rhaenyra, newly pregnant or caring for little ones, is now widowed. She flees the tense atmosphere of King's Landing for the relative safety of Dragonstone, heartbroken and wary. Number 5. Rhaenyra weds Daemon. Rhaenyra is left vulnerable, with 3 small boys. House Velaryon is estranged from the crown, and House Hightower is gaining influence again. Then fate takes another turn. Daemon Targaryen, now also a widower, draws closer to Rhaenyra. They share a mutual need to rebuild power. Not long after Laenor's funeral, Rhaenyra and Daemon marry in a Valyrian ceremony, scandalizing the realm. People whisper it's too soon after Harwin and Lyanna's deaths, yet this union has strategic value. Daemon brings his experience and a certain hold over House Velaryon. He's the father of Laenor's daughters, so Lord Corlys remains tied to him. Over time, Corlys grudgingly recognizes that supporting Daemon and Rhaenyra might be better than letting the Hightowers rule the realm. Rhaenyra eventually bears Daemon 2 more sons, Aegon the Younger and Viserys. Now her children include 3 older, strong princes, Jacaerys, Lucerys, Joffrey, and 2 younger Targaryen boys. King Viserys watches all this with tired eyes. He still hopes to see the extended Targaryen family in harmony, but the rivalries have only grown. Alicent's second son, Aemond, now rides Vhagar and hates the strong boys more than ever. Her eldest, Prince Aegon, indulges in wine, women, and the promise he's the rightful male heir. Everyone awaits the day Viserys dies and the real battle begins. Number 6. The King's Death and a Royal Usurpation. By 129 AC, King Viserys finally passes in his sleep. Chaos descends. In secret, Queen Alicent and her father, Otto Hightower, convene a Green Council. Rather than informing Rhaenyra, who was named heir years ago, they decide to crown Alicent's son, Aegon. Aegon isn't thrilled at first, but the chance to rule tempts him. Sir Criston Cole, now Lord Commander of the Kingsguard, places the Conqueror's crown on Aegon's head in the Dragon Pit. The people of King's Landing cheer, not entirely sure what's happening, but relieved to have a Targaryen king. Alicent sends out ravens to major lords, urging them to bend the knee. On Dragonstone, Rhaenyra learns of her father's death and half-brother's coronation almost in one breath. Enraged, she proclaims herself queen, crowned by her loyalists, with the late Viserys' crown smuggled out of the Red Keep. Daemon backs her wholeheartedly, remembering Viserys' decree that named her heir. In truth, everyone senses that the realm is about to split, no matter how the lines were drawn. The civil war known as the Dance of the Dragons is on, only now the players have changed slightly. Number 7. Diplomacy, Dragonflight, and First Blood. Rhaenyra's first step is rallying support from the lords who once swore to uphold her claim. She sends envoys to the north, the Vale, and even Storm's End to secure pledges of loyalty. Crucially, in canon, Lucerys was sent to Storm's End, which ended in his death at Aemon's hands. Here, older brother Jacaerys takes on the more dangerous missions. He meets with Lady Jane Arryn in the Vale, who supports Rhaenyra, then travels to White Harbour and Winterfell, forging the Pact of Ice and Fire with Lord Cregan Stark. In Storm's End, Jace might still confront Prince Aemond or see him departing after an offer to Lord Boros Baratheon. But Jace, being older and more politically savvy, avoids a lethal chase through the storm. Even if the Baratheons side with Aegon, Jace escapes to fight another day, meaning Rhaenyra doesn't suffer the heartbreak of losing a son at the very start. Meanwhile, actual battles start in the Crownlands. Daemon Targaryen, riding Caraxes, orchestrates raids from Dragonstone. Aegon II, perched in King's Landing with Sunfire, still strong and golden, relies heavily on Prince Aemond and Vhagar, the biggest living dragon. The realm braces for wave after wave of fiery destruction. Number 8. Fires of War, Harrenhal and the Prince's Duels. The Riverlands become a core battleground. Prince Aemond seizes Harrenhal first, but Daemon later outmaneuvers him, occupying the castle once Aemond marches out to terrorize local lords. Incensed, Aemond rushes back, and we get one of the most legendary dragon duels in history over the God's Eye Lake. Caraxes versus Vhagar. Daemon leaps from his saddle with Dark Sister in hand, presumably driving it into Aemond's missing eye. Both dragons plummet into the water. Both riders vanish. The realm loses two of its deadliest warriors in a single clash. Aemond's death is a brutal blow to the Greens. Alicent loses a son. Rhaenyra loses her fiercest champion in Daemon. Around the same time, an attack at Rook's Rest claims Princess Rhaenys, the queen who never was. She tries to hold off Aegon II and Aemond, but perishes with her dragon melees. Before going down, she scorches Aegon II badly, leaving him half-crippled. The Greens are now led by a wounded king and face serious morale issues. Sir Criston Cole tries to hold them together, but it's not enough. Number 9. Rhaenyra takes the throne and loses it. Sensing the Greens' weakness, Rhaenyra marches on King's Landing with the support of Corlys Velaryon's fleet and other loyal houses. The City Watch, once under Daemon's command, switches sides. Aegon II and a handful of allies flee, smuggling him out in the dead of night. Rhaenyra enters the Red Keep, sits on the Iron Throne, and is hailed as queen. But ruling the capital isn't easy. The war has caused shortages, and the small folk are hungry. A savage act, blood and cheese, unfolds in the Red Keep, where assassins murder one of Aegon II's children in front of his wife's sister, Helaena. This atrocity spreads fear and hatred among the people. Soon, rumors call Rhaenyra Maegor with teats. Riots grip King's Landing. Angry crowds blame dragons for their misery. A massive mob storms the dragon pit, dragging down and killing the dragons inside, including Rhaenyra's Mount Syrax. Her son Joffrey tries to intervene, but dies in the chaos. Shaken to her core, Rhaenyra flees the city. Though she has seized the throne, she can't hold it. Hoping to find refuge, Rhaenyra returns to Dragonstone, only to discover Aegon II's men have gotten there first. Wounded Sunfire lurks in the courtyard, still lethal. Rhaenyra is captured in a swift betrayal. Legend says Aegon II watches coldly as Sunfire devours his half-sister. The moment is one of the darkest in Targaryen history. In the end, her marriage to Harwin Strong didn't spare her from a savage death, much like the main canon story. Number 10. An unexpected conclusion, King Jacaerys though. But this alternate timeline diverges in one crucial way. Jacaerys Strong, called Jace, Rhaenyra's eldest son by Harwin, survives. In the canonical version, Jace dies early in the war, leaving only young Aegon III and Viserys as Rhaenyra's heirs. Here, Jace returns from his northern missions to find his mother slain. Aegon II, battered and despised, clings to what's left of the Greens. Fate intervenes. Many of Aegon II's own supporters want peace, terrified by the war's destruction. Some say the King's Council secretly poisons him, removing the biggest obstacle to surrender. With Aegon II gone, the remaining lords of King's Landing and the armies from the North, Vale and Riverlands hail Jacaerys as the rightful monarch. He becomes King Jacaerys I, older than a boy, more capable of immediate leadership and determined to end the conflict. Under his rule, the realm finally sees the fighting subside. The few surviving dragons are scattered or injured. Most lords simply want to rebuild. Jace pardons many commoners but deals harshly with key conspirators like Larys Strong, rumored to have killed Harwin. Alicent Hightower is given exile, not execution. With the help of Lord Cregan Stark and the famed Pact of Ice and Fire, King Jacaerys I stabilizes the crown. He's wed to Lady Rhaenyra Velaryon, Daemon's daughter by Laenor, uniting Targaryen, Velaryon, and strong blood. The kingdom is battered, but possibly better off than in the canonical timeline, since this new king is an adult with some measure of political savvy. Still, countless lives and dragons were lost. The Targaryen hold on power will never be the same. Number 11. Legacy and Reflection. So in the end, did allowing Rhaenyra to marry Harwin Strong truly change destiny? Yes and no. It gave her a happier early marriage, erased the rumors of bastard children, and created a different set of alliances. Yet the deep-rooted issues of male preference laws and divided loyalties remained. Alicent and her family still believed a male Targaryen should take precedence over Rhaenyra. The seeds of war were planted long before any wedding vows. Where we see the biggest impact is in the aftermath. Instead of the throne eventually falling to a traumatized boy like Aegon III, it passes to an older Jacaerys I, a blend of Targaryen and strong heritage. The realm finds a more stable ruler, one who might piece it back together sooner, but the Dance of the Dragons still claims countless lives. Dragons die in droves, King's Landing suffers riots and famine, and Rhaenyra meets a dreadful end, much like she did in the main story. In other words, changing Rhaenyra's husband changes the players, but not the game. The question of succession, queen or king, still drives the kingdom into civil war. Even so, we get a new monarch and a slightly different Targaryen lineage on the Iron Throne. It's a fascinating twist on how love and loyalty mix in the blood-soaked politics of Westeros. If you enjoyed this scenario, please let me know in the comments what other what-if stories you'd like to see. Until next time, remember, no matter how the pieces move, the cost of the Iron Throne is always paid in blood.